Could Kalonzo Musyoka be on the way to replace the current president, Dr. William Ruto, in State House come 2027? Now, we know Kalonzo Musyoka vied in 2007, but became position 3. He later joined Mwai Kibaki and became Mwai Kibaki's vice president. After the referendum was held, we had the peace talk between Mwai Kibaki and Raila Odinga forming a coalition government where Raila Odinga was the Prime Minister of Kenya that time. But since then, Kalonzo Musyoka has been showing interest to vie. He has been threatening to vie, but he ended up supporting Raila Odinga. And of late, Kalonzo Musyoka has been out there campaigning, saying that he wants to vie for the presidency. In 2022, before he supported Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka said he's not going to support Raila if there is no measure of reciprocity, if he's not going to receive anything in return. And since then, he hasn't been associating himself with the Raila's dealing, even when the CS were being mentioned. Wiper Party or Kalonzo Musyoka's party didn't give out any member. In 2022, it was the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta who convinced Kalonzo Musyoka to support Raila. And Kalonzo Musyoka said, before I support Raila Amolo Odinga, there should be something. And remember, Raila promised to support Kalonzo's bid for presidency in 2027. But now with Raila Odinga joining William Samoei Ruto's government and William Samoei Ruto potentially losing the mountain, because with Uhuru's influence in the mountain, we could see it in the event that happened in Embu. William Ruto is losing the mountain. Chances are that William Samoei Ruto will have to merge with Raila Odinga. And this will be a threat to Kalonzo Musyoka because Raila may not be able to keep his end of the bargain. And we also know Raila as a person who has not been keeping his promises. He promised not once, not twice to support Kalonzo, but in the end, he ended up running for the seat and having Kalonzo support him for his bid. And after Raila Odinga joined William Samoei Ruto's government, the broad-based government, Kalonzo Musyoka officially proclaimed himself as the opposition leader. He became a darling to the Gen Z during the protest because he didn't associate himself with the government so much. And we also know that he is a pro-Uhuru more than a pro-Raila person since 2022. Now, with all this that has been happening, what are the chances of Kalonzo Musyoka getting into State House? And what are some of the things that Kalonzo Musyoka can do for him to get into State House? That is what I want to share with you today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Political Spotlight. My name is Movali Derek, and I want to appreciate each and every one of you who has taken time to subscribe into this channel. Those who leave me comments, that goes a long way and it also goes unnoticed. I really appreciate your support and your effort. For those who have not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly just take a second of your time, hit the subscribe button and take a minute and leave a comment of your views. What do you think? Is Kalonzo Musyoka able to replace William Samoei Ruto come 2027? Now, let's get into the conversation without wasting much time. If 2027, Kalonzo Musyoka is to get into office, there are several ways. But let's first of all begin with this. If Raila Amolo Odinga endorses Kalonzo Musyoka, then it will be like Kalonzo Musyoka versus William Samoei Ruto. The chances of Kalonzo Musyoka getting into office are very high. But if it goes that it is Raila versus Kalonzo versus William Samoei Ruto, the chances of Kalonzo getting to office are very minimum. Not unless it goes equal, then we have to go to another election whereby two candidates have to run and there Raila decides to support Kalonzo. Kalonzo will have a difficult time. But also, we have seen Kalonzo's influence in the mountain is really growing. Remember, during the birthday of Uhuru Kenyatta, they did a very huge gathering in the mountain, and his influence in the mountain is slowly gaining more influence, more popularity in the mountain, something that should worry the government of William Samoei Ruto. But apart from all this, what are other ways that Kalonzo Musyoka can use to get into office? First of all, his political allies will really matter a lot because, as I always tell you, politics is like a chess game. How you plan your side of the chess will matter whether you win the game or not. Kalonzo Musyoka has the likes of Akina Eugene Wamalwa. There is the likes of Akina Kioni. We have Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. We have Rigathi Gachagua who was impeached, and also there are rumors that he'll be taken out of UDA party. He has a chance to merge with Rigathi Gachagua, take over the mountain. We have the likes of Akina Nyoro, the likes of Akina Malala. Kalonzo Musyoka is from the central part of Kenya. He needs to align himself with if the Nyanza side, which we don't know yet, but if in Nyanza he can get the support of someone like Babu Owino, who is greatly and fastly gaining fame and influence in that region, he can divide that region. And he has to go to Western region, get the support of the Western people. So the allies that Kalonzo will have in his camp will highly determine Kalonzo's potential of victory in coming 2027. Second of all, is Raila's endorsement can go a long way for Kalonzo Musyoka against William Ruto. Many people are saying that Raila Odinga might betray William Samoei Ruto if he doesn't get the AU seat. And we know Raila Odinga, he can't betray William Samoei Ruto at any time. That's why to me there is one video I did and I said that the president should not bag his all eggs under Raila's basket because they may all break. Even, and I was telling you, if you check the kind of cabinet secretaries that Raila gave to William Samoei Ruto, these are Raila's diehard. They're the Raila's closest allies, and the chances are Raila can even betray President William Ruto. And if Raila betrays President William Ruto and decides to back Kalonzo Musyoka come 2027, that will be a direct ticket, giving Kalonzo Musyoka a 95% to win the 2027 election. But also, if Raila does not do that, it will be a catastrophe to Kalonzo Musyoka, because Raila, we know his influence not only in Nyanza, but in the entire nation. He can move a wave. And if he does not endorse Kalonzo Musyoka, it's going to be a challenge for Kalonzo Musyoka come 2027. The other thing that can help Kalonzo get into office is the Genz Support. But now the Genz Support is not something that he can rely on because majority of the youth don't have votes. If Kalonzo Musyoka right now can decide to engage the youth in a civic education for them to register as voters, then mobilize them for them to vote for him come 2027, they can really shake the country, because we know the youth are so many in this nation. You could see during the demonstrations when they could come out in huge numbers. But also, he should not back so much on the youth, because Malema did that, he didn't get the seat. Several people have done back on the youth, they backed their hopes on the youth, and they have ended up being disappointment. Even Kamala Harris in the United States election against Donald Trump, she really relied on the youth, and it didn't go well for her. So as much as the Genz Support can create a very huge wave for Kalonzo's side, because he is a Genz darling, it is something that he cannot totally rely on, because it comes with a disadvantage that, number one, young people have not taken votes, and second, most of the young people whom I've interacted with, and even if you check on social media, most of them are saying that they are not going to vote come 2027. That is going to be a huge blow for Kalonzo Musyoka. The last thing that can help Kalonzo Musyoka is his manifesto. If Kalonzo Musyoka starts campaigning that he's going to do away with Kenya Kwanza policies, the SHIF, the SHA, and all that, the finance bill, and all these things that Kenya Kwanza have brought to light that seem to be a burden to a normal Kenyan citizen. If Kalonzo can start campaigning and creating a manifesto of going to correct the wrongs. Remember when Donald Trump was campaigning, he said he's going to make America great again, telling Americans that whatever Biden's, the policies like LGBTQ is going to do away with them. And these things resonated well with the citizens of the United States. That's how Donald Trump won. And if Kalonzo Musyoka can help what Donald Trump did and start campaigning on the policies that Kenya Kwanza government has put in place that are not beneficial to the Kenyans, it can go a long way for Kalonzo Musyoka in making him win the 2027 election, because he will win the hearts of so many Kenyans to his side, because so many Kenyans have lost hope, so many Kenyans have lost trust with the William Samoei Ruto's government. And that is evident. Even you could see the churches, the Catholic Church returned the donation of William Samoei Ruto. To people, it might sound like a small thing, but it's not just a tip of an iceberg. That really signifies a lot, even from the religious side of things to in relation to the political side of things. And the most lastly thing that Kalonzo Musyoka should do is Kalonzo Musyoka should look for money. You cannot want the presidency without money. Money is everything. And there is where Raila Amolo Odinga defeats all of them, even when it comes to forming coalition. Raila Odinga has enough money. He has enough investors. So it's high time. I've read today the Daily Nation that Fred Matiang'i is looking for investors to come and run for the 2027 presidential campaign. That's another analysis I'll do later. But also Kalonzo Musyoka should start looking for investors. He should start looking for money, and he should start planning his game as early as now. He should be so close to Uhuru Kenyatta, the likes of Akina Rigathi, to totally grab the mountain to his side. And then after that, he should start thinking, because we only have 2 years, he should be thinking of ways to now spread his roots, even if it's to start campaigning early through civic education and creating forums to engage with citizens throughout the nation. He should be starting that journey right now. What is your view? Do you think Kalonzo Musyoka is capable to replace William Samoei Ruto come 2027? Those are some of the possible ways I, as a person, think he can use to replace William Samoei Ruto come 2027, because there is a lot. There are so many people are rising up for this seat, the likes of Akina Jimmy Wanjigi, but they are not so much influential. If Kalonzo places himself well, he can replace William Samoei Ruto, because we all know that in politics, anything is possible. You can leave your views in the comment section. My name is Movali Derek. This has been the Political Spotlight.